All right, so we're diving into some pretty interesting stuff today uh, about Elon Musk and his AI company, xAI.
Yeah, should be
So
fascinating.
you sent over the CNBC article, Elon Musk's xAI raising up to $6 billion to purchase 100,000 Nvidia chips for Memphis data center.
Mm-hmm.
And it was published today, November 15th, 2024, so it's really fresh
That's
news.
late.
And it seems like Musk is making some pretty big moves in the world of AI, so we're going to unpack it all and see what we can learn.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot to dig into here.
Definitely. So right off the bat, the article mentions that xAI is trying to raise, get this, $6 billion,
Wow.
which would put its valuation at a massive $50 billion.
Yeah.
And, considering that xAI was just founded last year, July 2023,
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty huge amount of money to raise in such a short time, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just an incredible amount of investment, especially for a company that's barely a year old.
Right. But so what do you make of that? Like, what does it tell us about, how xAI is being perceived?
Well, I think it definitely suggests that investors have a lot of faith in xAI's potential.
Hmm.
It shows that they believe that xAI could become a major player in the AI field,
Yeah,
and that Musk, he's clearly serious about making this happen.
definitely. And the article even says that most of this funding is likely to come from Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds,
Right.
which is interesting. And also that a lot of existing investors are actually trying to up their stake in xAI.
Oh, wow.
So what do you think that tells us?
Well, to me, that indicates a really strong level of confidence in xAI's future, even at this early stage.
Yeah.
I mean, these Middle Eastern funds, they're known for making some pretty strategic investments, often in sectors with, long-term growth potential.
Hmm.
So they must see something really special in xAI to be willing to commit that much money.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into the specifics here.
Like,
What's xAI planning to actually do with all of this cash?
well, according to the CNBC article, it looks like a big chunk of this money is going to be used to purchase 100,000 Nvidia chips.
Wow, that's a lot of chips.
Yeah, and these aren't your everyday computer chips.
Right.
We're talking top-of-the-line processors that are specifically designed for machine learning.
Mhm.
They can handle massive amounts of data all at the same time, which is absolutely essential for training powerful AI models.
Right. So basically, the more powerful these chips are, the faster xAI can develop its AI.
Exactly. It's like, giving a race car a supercharged engine.
Uh-huh.
It allows them to really push the limits and, train their systems so much faster and more effectively,
Oh, yeah.
which could potentially lead to some major breakthroughs in AI.
Right. So where do all these chips actually come into play? What's the plan?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The article suggests that these chips are most likely headed for a new supercomputer in Memphis. And get this, the article hints that this supercomputer could actually be used to help develop Tesla's full self-driving technology.
Wait, hold on. So
Yeah.
this isn't just about xAI developing a new chatbot or something.
Right.
This could actually have a direct impact on Tesla's self-driving cars.
That seems to be the case.
Wow.
I mean,
Man.
you have to think about the implications, right? Imagine Tesla using this supercomputer, not just to tweak their current system, but to create a completely new approach to AI driving,
Yeah.
one that can handle even the most difficult situations on the road.
Yeah,
That's the kind of game changer this investment could really be.
for sure.
It could allow them to potentially leapfrog their competitors in the self-driving race.
Right. And, it's interesting because the article does mention xAI's mission statement, which is to understand the true nature of the universe,
Right.
which is, that's pretty ambitious, to say the least.
It's an incredibly bold vision. But you can definitely see how Musk's interest in AI extends beyond just making profits or even improving Tesla's cars.
Yeah.
He seems to be genuinely interested in pushing the boundaries of what AI can achieve and maybe even answering some of humanity's biggest questions.
That's a good point. So how does Tesla actually fit into all of this then?
Well, that's a key question, isn't it?
Mhm.
I mean, there are already some pretty strong ties between the two companies.
Yeah.
Remember, Andrej Karpathy, who was Tesla's former head of AI, he recently rejoined xAI.
Right, right.
Plus, they seem to be sharing intellectual resources and potentially even hardware, like the supercomputer we were talking about.
So is xAI basically just a secret Tesla subsidiary then?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
They're definitely closely linked, there's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
But xAI does seem to have its own independent mission and goals.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already developing their own AI products, like that chatbot you mentioned, Grok, which directly competes with products from companies like, OpenAI and Google.
Huh. It's really interesting how Musk is kind of like navigating this whole complex web of companies and projects.
Yeah.
But it also raises some questions about competition, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, isn't xAI going up against some of the, like, biggest tech giants in the world?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got OpenAI with ChatGPT, you've got Google with Bard, you've got Anthropic with Claude.
Right.
They're all, fighting for dominance in the AI market.
So where does xAI even fit into all of this? Like, how are they planning to, you know, make their mark and stand out?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What's their unique selling proposition? We'll need to dig a little deeper to find out.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like a great place to pick up in part 2.
Absolutely.
So let's, you know what, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's come back and we'll explore how xAI plans to compete in the world of AI.
Sounds good. One thing that could give xAI a real edge, like a serious advantage,
Yeah.
is their potential access to just mountains of real-world data.
Okay.
Like, think about it. All the information that Tesla's vehicles are collecting on a daily basis.
Right.
That data could be a gold mine for training AI models, especially for something like Grok.
So you're saying like Tesla's driving data could actually make Grok even smarter?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Just imagine training a chatbot on millions of hours of driving footage, sensor readings, navigation data. It could learn how humans react in all these different driving situations, understand the nuances of road conditions,
Right.
maybe even predict driver behavior.
Wow.
That's the kind of advantage that, other AI companies just don't have.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so data is a big differentiator, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But what about Grok itself? Like, what makes it different from all the other chatbots out there?
Right.
The article mentioned something about real-time internet access.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
Well, it's actually a pretty big deal.
Okay.
See, most chatbots rely on, static data sets for their information, which means their knowledge is basically limited to what they were trained on, which could be, outdated or incomplete.
Yeah.
But Grok, on the other hand, it's designed to pull information directly from the internet in real time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's constantly learning and updating its knowledge base.
Exactly. So you could ask Grok about, a current event or a breaking news story,
Yeah.
even something like the current price of a stock.
Okay.
And it could potentially give you the most up-to-date information because it's getting that data directly from the source.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a huge advantage over chatbots that are stuck with, older data sets.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it sounds like xAI is aiming to be more than just like another AI company. They want to make these groundbreaking discoveries and maybe even solve some of the world's biggest problems with AI, right?
I think that's a fair assessment, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that, this is still very early days for xAI. They were only founded a little over a year ago. We're just starting to see what they're capable of.
It sounds like they're not wasting any time.
Nope.
The article mentions that they've already launched their chatbot, Grok.
It is an interesting move for sure.
Yeah.
Releasing a product so early on, it suggests that they're really eager to get feedback and, iterate and refine their technology quickly.
Yeah.
And it also puts them, right in the mix in direct competition with some of the big players in the market.
Yeah, this whole thing is like a fascinating story.
It is.
There are so many moving parts. We've got, this brilliant but sometimes controversial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
A massive investment from some pretty powerful backers.
Right.
This potential link to, Tesla's self-driving ambitions. And this brand new AI company that's already making waves.
It's exciting.
It feels like we're witnessing the birth of something big.
Yeah.
But it's hard to predict where it's all going to lead.
You're absolutely right. It's still very early days, but you can feel the momentum building. I mean, the AI field is moving at an incredible pace. And with xAI entering the game with, this much force behind them, things are definitely going to get even more interesting.
Now, let's go back to that political angle we touched on earlier.
Okay.
The CNBC article mentioned Musk's involvement with the new Trump administration.
Right.
And specifically, their plans for AI.
Yeah, that's a significant development. Remember, during his campaign, Trump promised to repeal Biden's AI executive order and adopt a more hands-off approach to AI regulation. He emphasized free speech and human flourishing as guiding principles for AI development.
So does that mean we're heading towards like a less regulated AI environment?
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
And it'll be really interesting to see how this shift in policy actually plays out.
Yeah.
On the one hand, less regulation could lead to faster innovation.
Right.
Allow companies like xAI more freedom to experiment and push the boundaries of what's possible. But there are also potential downsides, of course.
Right. What are some of those?
Well, without proper safeguards, a less regulated AI environment could increase the risk of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Think about the potential for biased algorithms, job displacement, or even the development of autonomous weapons.
Right. Those are some pretty serious concerns.
They are, yeah. Serious concerns that policymakers will need to address.
It seems like there's a delicate balance to strike here.
Absolutely.
Between, fostering innovation.
Right.
And ensuring responsible AI development.
Exactly. And that balance, it's likely going to be a topic of intense debate and discussion as AI continues to evolve and become, more integrated into our lives.
For sure. You've given us a lot to consider already, but I'm curious to hear more about your perspective on xAI's future.
Okay.
Do you really think they can achieve this ambitious goal of understanding the true nature of the universe?
That's a profound question.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on how you define understanding, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, AI has the potential to completely revolutionize scientific discovery, unlock all these new insights into the workings of the universe,
Right.
help us make sense of the vast amounts of data that we collect.
Yeah.
It could even lead to breakthroughs that we can't even imagine right now.
But can it really explain, the fundamental mysteries of existence?
Well, that remains to be seen, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's incredibly exciting to see someone like Elon Musk with his resources and his vision tackling these big questions. Whether or not xAI achieves its ultimate goal, I think the journey itself is bound to be fascinating and potentially transformative.
It's a wild time to be alive, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, AI is changing everything so rapidly.
Yeah.
And we're only just beginning to grasp the full implications of this technology.
I completely agree. And it's crucial that we stay informed and engaged and participate in the conversations about how to shape the future of AI in a way that, benefits all of humanity.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far.
We have.
From xAI's funding and their potential connection to Tesla's self-driving technology, to, the challenges they face in this competitive market,
Right.
the political implications of the Trump administration's approach to AI.
Yeah.
But there's one piece of the puzzle we haven't really explored in depth yet,
Okay.
and that's xAI's chatbot, Grok.
Yes, Grok is definitely a key part of xAI's strategy.
Yeah.
It's their flagship product and a direct competitor to some of the most advanced chatbots in the world.
So let's dive into Grok in more detail.
Okay.
What makes it unique? How does it compare to the competition? And what can we learn from its, early development and reception?
Grok is a fascinating case study, and I'm eager to break it down for you.
Let's do it. Let's take a closer look at Grok and see what insights we can glean. So Grok, right? It seems like xAI is trying to position it as something, I don't know, different.
Yeah.
Something more than just a chatbot.
Right. They're really emphasizing that real-time internet access as a key difference.
So if I ask it about a current event, it can give me the latest news, not just information from months or even years ago.
Exactly. It's like having a
Yeah.
constantly updating encyclopedia right at your fingertips, one that can pull in the latest stock prices, weather reports,
Wow.
you name it, even the score of a live game.
Okay.
It really changes how we interact with information.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But how does it actually stack up against the competition?
Right.
I mean, you've got ChatGPT, Bard, Claude, all these established players in the AI chatbot space.
Yeah, it's a tough crowd out there.
Yeah.
But xAI is betting that Grok's real-time capabilities, that's what's going to give it an edge.
Okay.
Think about the possibilities. You could ask it for a summary of a recent scientific paper.
Right.
Get insights on a breaking news story.
Yeah.
Even have it analyze a live debate and provide real-time fact-checking.
So it's not just about providing information.
Right.
It's about providing context and analysis.
Exactly. In real time.
Yeah.
It's moving beyond, those simple question and answer interactions
Mm.
towards a more dynamic and like insightful exchange of information.
And what about like the user experience? I've heard some early reviews say that Grok has like a bit of a personality,
Yeah.
maybe even a sense of humor.
Yes, that definitely seems to be part of their strategy.
Uh,
They're trying to make a chatbot that feels more engaging,
yeah.
more, I don't know, human-like.
Yeah.
Early users have said Grok is witty, sometimes even like a bit sarcastic.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Hmm,
I mean, could it make people like distrust the information it provides?
right.
Especially if it's presenting it in like a humorous or informal way.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
It's a tricky balance. On one hand, a more, personable chatbot could make the interaction more enjoyable, more memorable.
Yeah.
People might be more likely to use it if they feel like they're having a conversation with a friend rather than a machine.
Right.
But at the same time, it could blur the lines between information and entertainment
Yeah, for sure.
and make it harder for users to really figure out what's fact and what's fiction.
That's true.
And it really highlights the importance of transparency, right?
Mm,
Users need to know how Grok works,
right.
where it's getting its information, and
Yeah.
how it's coming up with these responses.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how it's presented
Absolutely.
and explained to the users.
User education and trust are so crucial,
Yeah.
especially in a field as complex and rapidly changing as AI.
This whole deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Yes.
We've explored xAI's ambitions,
Mhm.
their potential impact on Tesla's self-driving tech,
Right.
the challenges they face,
Yeah.
the broader implications for like AI regulation,
And now with Grok,
and now with Grok.
yeah, we're seeing how they're trying to push the boundaries of what a chatbot can be.
And create something truly unique.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
Yeah.
Is xAI's mission to, understand the true nature of the universe?
Right.
Is that a realistic goal? Or is it just like a science fiction dream?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And can a chatbot, something like Grok, truly change how we interact with information? These are questions we all need to be thinking about
Yeah.
as we, continue to navigate this world of artificial intelligence.
It's an exciting time,
It is.
but also a little uncertain.
Yeah. And the choices we make now, they're going to shape the future of this incredibly powerful technology.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into xAI and Grok.
It's been a pleasure.
We encourage you to, check out the links in the show notes, learn more, and as always, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep the conversation going.